Welcome to Chronovox, where we explore mysteries and history. Today's episode is on Jack the Ripper. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It is much appreciated. And now, without further ado, the story of Jack the Ripper. The year is 1888. A chill grips London. Fear seeps from the cobblestones of Whitechapel, a district drowning in poverty and despair. The fog, a constant presence, becomes a shroud, concealing something sinister. Jack the Ripper walks these streets, a phantom preying on the vulnerable. His victims, women, forgotten and discarded by society. Each murder, a grotesque masterpiece of cruelty. But Jack, a phantom in the fog, remains elusive, a whisper in the darkness, a nightmare come to life. Over a century has passed, yet the name Jack the Ripper still evokes a primal fear. His reign of terror, though brief, left an indelible mark on the human psyche. Countless books, documentaries, and theories have attempted to unmask the killer. Was he a surgeon, a madman, or a figure so ordinary he vanished into society? The victims, their names etched in history, serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of this unsolved mystery. Jack the Ripper remains a puzzle that refuses to be solved, a ghost that continues to walk among us. The night of August 31st, 1888, dawned like any other in Whitechapel. Mary Ann Nichols, a woman worn down by life's hardships, walked the familiar streets. At 43, she was a shadow of her former self, another lost soul seeking solace in the bottom of a gin bottle. Around 3:40 a.m., a cart driver making his rounds stumbled upon a gruesome sight in Bucks Row. It was Mary Ann, her life brutally extinguished. Her throat slashed, her abdomen ripped open, her intestines spilling onto the cobblestones. News of the murder spread like wildfire through Whitechapel. The police, initially dismissive, were forced to reconsider. The savagery of the attack suggested a killer far more sinister than the common cutthroat. Panic gripped Whitechapel, and the name on everyone's lips was Leather Apron. As the fog of fear thickened over Whitechapel, investigators struggled to make sense of the carnage. The precision of Mary Ann Nichols' wounds pointed to someone with anatomical knowledge. Rumors swirled of a surgeon gone mad, a butcher with a taste for human flesh. The hunt was on for a killer, a ghost in the fog, who seemed to vanish into thin air. Whitechapel, already reeling from the gruesome murder of Mary Ann Nichols, descended further into fear. The police, overwhelmed and outmatched, became a source of frustration. Theories, as numerous as the cobblestones in Whitechapel, offered explanations ranging from the plausible to the utterly absurd. The fog, a constant presence, seemed to amplify the fear, transforming familiar streets into menacing labyrinths. September 30th, 1888, dawned like any other in Whitechapel. The first victim, Elizabeth Stride, met her end in Dutfield's yard. Her throat was cut with the same chilling precision as Mary Ann Nichols, but there were no other mutilations. Less than an hour later, a mile away in Mitre Square, Catherine Eddowes became the Ripper's second victim. Her face was mutilated beyond recognition, her throat slashed so deeply that her head was nearly severed. Her abdomen, a canvas of unimaginable horror, was ripped open, her intestines draped over her shoulder. The discovery of Catherine Eddowes' mutilated body sent shockwaves through Whitechapel. The sheer brutality of the double murder pushed the city's fear to a fever pitch. The police, already under intense pressure, faced a public demanding answers they didn't have. The Whitechapel Vigilance Committee patrolled the streets, their frustration palpable. As quickly as he had appeared, the Ripper vanished into the fog and shadows of Whitechapel. The murders stopped, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and a city scarred by terror. The police, despite their best efforts, were unable to catch the killer. The memory of the Ripper, the phantom who had held a city hostage, lingered. The terror gripping Whitechapel was not only wrought by the Ripper's savage murders, but also by his taunting communications. On September 27, 1888, the Central News Agency received a letter addressed boldly, "Dear Boss." This missive, written in a neat, mocking hand, would become infamous, forever linking its mysterious author to the moniker Jack the Ripper. "Dear Boss," it began, a chilling calmness in its tone. "I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet." The letter was filled with promises of further violence, a twisted boast of the Ripper's prowess. The threat was clear, the signature even clearer. "Yours truly, Jack the Ripper." The name Jack the Ripper exploded into the public consciousness, adding a new level of notoriety to the already grisly murders. Just days after the Dear Boss letter shook London, another communication arrived, this time a postcard. Dated October 1st, it bore the same mocking tone and familiar signature. Dubbed the Saucy Jackie postcard, it referenced the recent double murder with chilling nonchalance. The postcard's brevity did nothing to lessen its impact. The media, ever eager for sensational content, published the postcard, ensuring that Saucy Jackie became a household name. The letters turned the Ripper from a mere murderer into a macabre celebrity. The most notorious of the Ripper's communications arrived on October 16, 1888. This letter, known as the From Hell letter, was different from the others. Its tone, its handwriting, and its gruesome enclosure set it apart. The letter, addressed to George Lusk of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, began simply, "From Hell." The handwriting was crude, the spelling erratic, but the message was clear. "Mr. Lusk, sir, I send you half the kidney I took from one woman, pray sarved it for you to the piece I fried and ate, it was very nice." The enclosed half of a human kidney, preserved in alcohol, was later examined by a medical professional. The From Hell letter was a grim reminder of the Ripper's brutality and his contempt for the forces trying to stop him. Jack the Ripper's reign of terror, though brief, left an indelible scar on London's psyche. The police, despite their best efforts, failed to capture the killer, and the case of Jack the Ripper became synonymous with the ultimate unsolved mystery. Over a century has passed, yet the Ripper's shadow still looms large. Jack the Ripper has become a cultural icon, a symbol of the darkness that lurks beneath the surface of civilization. The search for Jack the Ripper has led investigators down countless paths, each more intriguing and ultimately more frustrating than the last. Among the most prominent suspects is Aaron Kosminski, a Polish immigrant living in Whitechapel at the time of the murders. Another suspect who has captured the imagination of Ripper enthusiasts is Walter Sickert, a well-known painter with a penchant for the macabre. Some theories suggest that Sickert's artwork contains hidden clues to the Ripper's identity, while others point to his erratic behavior and fascination with the murders as evidence of his guilt. Despite the countless hours poured into the investigation and the plethora of theories put forth, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains a tantalizing mystery. The lack of conclusive evidence, coupled with the passage of time, has made it increasingly unlikely that the killer will ever be definitively unmasked. Some believe that the Ripper was a skilled surgeon, his knowledge of anatomy evident in the precise mutilations inflicted on his victims. Others speculate that he was a butcher or someone with access to surgical instruments. Still others believe that the killer was someone so ordinary, so seemingly harmless, that he was able to blend back into society, his secret buried with his victims. The mystery of Jack the Ripper continues to captivate and intrigue, a chilling reminder of the limits of human knowledge and the enduring power of the unknown. The killer may never be brought to justice, but his reign of terror serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that lurks in the shadows of even the most civilized societies. The year is 2025. Over a century has passed since Jack the Ripper stalked the cobblestone streets of Whitechapel. Yet his grip on our collective imagination remains as potent as ever. Why, in this age of advanced forensics and DNA analysis, does this case continue to fascinate and frustrate us? The answer, like the fog that shrouded Victorian London, is multifaceted and elusive. The passage of time, a relentless tide, has washed away crucial evidence. What traces the Ripper left behind, footprints in the mud, DNA under fingernails, have long since succumbed to the elements or the limitations of 19th century preservation techniques. We are left to sift through the remnants, piecing together fragments of a puzzle that may never be complete. The police investigation, though thorough by the standards of the day, was hampered by a lack of communication and coordination. Two separate forces, the Metropolitan Police and the City of London Police, operated in Whitechapel, their rivalry hindering rather than aiding the investigation. Crucial evidence may have been lost or overlooked in the bureaucratic morass. The very nature of the crimes, committed in the dead of night in the fog-choked alleys of one of London's poorest districts, made finding witnesses a near impossible task. Those who did come forward often provided conflicting or unreliable accounts, their memories clouded by fear and the passage of time. The Ripper, a phantom in the truest sense, moved through the shadows, leaving behind a trail of terror but few tangible clues. Despite the challenges, the pursuit of Jack the Ripper continues unabated. Modern-day investigators, armed with new technologies and a century's worth of hindsight, have revisited the case with a fervor bordering on obsession. They pore over old case files, scrutinize witness statements, and subject the few remaining pieces of physical evidence to every conceivable forensic test. DNA analysis, a tool unavailable to the Victorian police, has been hailed as a potential game-changer in the hunt for the Ripper. In recent years, several high-profile attempts have been made to extract DNA from items found at the crime scenes, with varying degrees of success. While some results have pointed to potential suspects, others have been inconclusive or mired in controversy, highlighting the difficulty of working with such degraded and potentially contaminated material. Archival research, often painstaking and time-consuming, has also yielded intriguing new leads. Researchers have uncovered previously overlooked documents, re-examined old witness statements, and even used facial recognition software to compare contemporary portraits with sketches of potential suspects. While these efforts have yet to definitively unmask the Ripper, they have shed new light on the social and historical context of the crimes, providing a glimpse into the dark underbelly of Victorian London. The advent of artificial intelligence has added yet another layer to the Ripper investigation. AI algorithms, capable of analyzing vast amounts of data and identifying patterns that would escape human observation, are being used to re-examine the evidence, develop new theories, and even create geographical profiles of the killer's likely movements. While the use of AI in criminal investigations is still in its infancy, it holds enormous potential for cracking cold cases, including perhaps the case that has baffled investigators for over a century. Despite the relentless efforts of both amateur and professional sleuths, the identity of Jack the Ripper remains elusive. The fog of time, the limitations of the original investigation, and the sheer audacity of the crimes have conspired to create an enigma that continues to captivate and frustrate us. It is a case that has spawned countless theories, fueled endless speculation, and inspired countless works of fiction, yet the truth remains tantalizingly out of reach. Perhaps the most enduring legacy of Jack the Ripper is not the mystery of his identity, but the fear he instilled in the hearts of a city. His crimes, brutal and seemingly random, shattered the illusion of safety in Victorian London, exposing the dark underbelly of a society grappling with poverty, inequality, and the shadowy side of human nature. The Ripper became a symbol of the unseen dangers that lurked beneath the surface, a reminder that even in the heart of civilization, evil could strike without warning. The women he murdered, Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, Mary Jane Kelly, were more than just victims in a macabre game. They were daughters, mothers, sisters, friends. Their lives cut short by a brutality that shocked even the most hardened police officers. Their stories, often overshadowed by the Ripper's infamy, serve as a poignant reminder of the human cost of this unsolved mystery. The case of Jack the Ripper may never be definitively solved, but it will continue to fascinate, frustrate, and haunt us. It is a stark reminder of the limits of human knowledge, the enduring power of the unknown, and the darkness that can lurk in the shadows of even the most enlightened societies. The Ripper's reign of terror may have ended in 1888, but his shadow lingers, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring allure of the unsolved. The cobblestones of Whitechapel still echo with the footsteps of Jack the Ripper, a ghost from a bygone era who refuses to be laid to rest. We have dissected the crimes, scrutinized the suspects, and pored over the evidence, yet the question that has haunted us for over a century remains unanswered. Who was the man behind the mask? Was it Kosminski, the troubled barber, his mind consumed by shadows? Or perhaps Sickert, the artist who painted darkness onto canvas, his art imitating a horrifying reality? Could it have been Tumblety, the eccentric doctor with a macabre fascination for the female form? Or did the Ripper move in circles far removed from the scrutiny of our investigations? A figure so ordinary, so seemingly harmless, that he vanished into the fabric of Victorian society. The truth, elusive and frustrating, continues to evade us. The fog of time has obscured the trail, leaving us with tantalizing glimpses and tantalizing dead ends. We are left to grapple with the unsettling possibility that the identity of Jack the Ripper, the monster who haunted the gaslit streets of Whitechapel, may forever remain a mystery. The unsolved nature of the case, far from diminishing its significance, only amplifies its power. It serves as a stark reminder of the limits of human knowledge, the enduring allure of the unknown, and the unsettling reality that some questions, no matter how diligently we pursue them, may never have definitive answers. The legacy of Jack the Ripper extends far beyond the cobblestone streets of Whitechapel. He has become a cultural touchstone, a figure of enduring fascination and horror, his name synonymous with the darkest recesses of human nature. His crimes, brutal and seemingly motiveless, continue to shock and intrigue us. The surgical precision of the murders, the chilling taunts contained in the letters, and the audacity of operating with seeming impunity in one of the world's largest cities, all contribute to the Ripper's enduring hold on our collective imagination. But the Ripper's legacy is not merely one of fear and fascination. It also serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerability of marginalized communities and the societal blind spots that allow such horrors to occur. The women he targeted, impoverished, forgotten, their lives already touched by hardship, were failed by the very systems that should have protected them. Their stories, often overshadowed by the Ripper's infamy, deserve to be remembered and honored. Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, Mary Jane Kelly, they were not just victims in a macabre game, but daughters, mothers, sisters, friends, their lives tragically cut short. Their memory should serve as a call to action, a reminder that we must remain vigilant in our pursuit of justice and equality for all. The case of Jack the Ripper, though forever shrouded in mystery, continues to resonate with us today. It compels us to confront the darkness that lurks within humanity, to seek answers to life's most perplexing questions, and to strive for a world where such horrors are relegated to the annals of history, never to be repeated. Thanks for watching Chronovox. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next echo. This is Chronovox.